Hey everybody, welcome to Gootz's Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Gootz, and it's a big day. It's Judgment Day, 1998. We're going to talk about that, but first, let's introduce your co-host, Kyle Lewis. Kyle, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, not feeling judged, so always a good sign.
Oh, it was a good sign. I gotta say, this weekend I had a baby shower, so I had to watch Backlash on tape delay. We got home during the post show, me and my cousins. We put it on. It goes right to the post show. We got to watch Roman Reigns. So we already know Roman Reigns won. We had to wait forever for the replay to come up. 2014, November 2014, WWE Network. I came home from work. The main event of the Survivor Series, the Alliance versus Team Cena, was starting. I was able to restart the pay per view right then and there in 2014 and watch it unspoiled and see Sting's big debut. It was great. It was awesome. This is technology that was available to you 12 years ago. Seemingly now it's no longer available. It went backwards. So there's no fucking. So we have to wait. Finally, it starts the replay. We get through Seth Rollins Braun Breaker, which I thought was the best match of the night. Then there's 5 minutes of a blank screen. Just Backlash will be right back for 5 fucking minutes. So we after the Oscar match, we just shut it off and I went home. I was like, I'm done because the blank screen fucking kills you. Then the next day, I watched this pay per view. Right, I watched this show. This show is so much better than Backlash. Just the pacing of it. Let's not even talk about the ring work. It's irrelevant how good the ring work was in some segments of Backlash because of the pacing of the show. How the fuck did this company know how to pace shows in 1998 to where like you can watch this show once a year and enjoy yourself? And it's not even the greatest show in the world. It's actually there's some really bad matches on this show, but you can enjoy yourself because the pacing is so. And how the fuck? Who is going to rewatch? Who is going to rewatch Backlash and sit and stare at a blank screen for 5 fucking minutes today? Who is that person? Because it's not me. Kyle, your thoughts on Backlash?
I thought the show was good. I think the commercials are always going to be a problem, and I think it's a problem that's not going away. I think they are expecting you as the fan to like be on your phone. Like I had like a second screen. So I think I was playing like a game or something. I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I wasn't looking up. Like I was like, oh, the stupid music's playing. And then, but it completely takes out the immersion. At least with Peacock, Peacock would show you the videos of like Tiffany Stratton or The Miz or something like that. Something to just keep your energy going. Even if you didn't care about videos that much, they kind of kept the flow of the show going. That's not their MO anymore. And I think it really does hurt. It hurts everything. It's gonna hurt NXT. NXT is moving to ESPN, and all the shows are gonna be on all their PLEs are
Mm-hmm.
gonna be on the CW. So now something that used to kind of streamline pretty smoothly is gonna have these 5 minute breaks in them. And I can't even imagine watching it afterwards like you did. Like you had the fact that you can't rewind is ridiculous. I've never had to really do that so far. So I didn't know that that was an issue. I thought you could just start it from the beginning and go forward, but I guess not. I guess it's just stupid, in my opinion. I think it's a really dumb way to do that, especially when if you were able to do it, like you said, years ago.
2014.
Yeah,
One
2014.
Devil debuted on Netflix, 2014. I don't look. It's one thing if the technology wasn't there in 2014 to do this, I totally get it. I don't understand how streaming is going backwards. And mark my words. This overabundance of commercials. I will accept the worst booking in the world. I will accept Roman Reigns pinning CM Punk in 20 seconds at Clash in Italy. I will accept fucking Bailey being involved in an angle where she's being harassed by Vince McMahon. I will accept anything you want to throw at me. I will accept Katie Vick returning. I cannot accept the way these shows are paced. And mark my words, the way they're doing this is going to lead to something very bad for them. It's going to lead to a downturn in business because it's unwatchable. It's unwatchable, quite frankly.
No, it is hard to watch. Like I said, it's I if what's up?
And I just want to say this. And not only is it unwatchable, but these guys are killing themselves. Everyone was wrestling like they were in the main event, and that's fun. I know that's what fans want nowadays. No one, we're never gonna see a match again like Al Snow versus Mark Merrow, where these guys are not fucking trying to murder one another and they're just telling a simple story. But we need to have those matches because these guys are gonna fucking die for nobody watching because of these commercial breaks. You know?
Yeah, no, it's the 5 match card. The backlash was wrestling standpoint. I thought it was pretty good. The internet's gonna be internet about it, but I thought it was pretty good. Oscar, Io, of course, Rollins, Breaker, Jacob Fox. I wasn't a big fan of the ending, but I like that match as well. Danhausen's gonna Danhausen, and there's one more match I'm forgetting, but no, I thought it was a solid show overall. But yeah, these breaks and the ads and things and the sponsors, it just hits you in the face so much that you're like you either get numb to it or you leave. And unfortunately for the wrestling fan, WWE is always like they have their people, you know? They have that's why they still have the full arenas. They have the full crowd. People still want to go and they still support it.
But I think a big thing that keeps you a wrestling fan is the replay value. People aren't, no one's rewatching the Giants 1988 season. Like, no one's sitting there being like, I'm going to rewatch all the games the Giants had in 1988, right? Nobody does that. But in wrestling, it's like, if you tell me, like, here's a video of every Red Rooster match from 1988, I'm probably going to put it on. I might fall asleep, but
Put
I'm
on
going
the
to,
vault.
but yeah, the
Go the
vault. Yeah.
vault.
And the thing about it is like the way these new shows, because in ESPN on the app, if you rewatch WrestlePalooza, there's these 5 minute you're staring at a blank screen. It's not meant
They
really
don't
to.
cut that out?
They don't
Like
cut them. It's just there.
that's stupid.
My thing is, it's like you're gonna like the replay is what keeps people in when the show sucks, and is what brings people back. And if you just fucking make the archives really hard to watch, you're gonna lose a lot of fans, a lot of passive income fans. I am giving WWE almost none of my money this year, and I used to give them a ton of my money, just on the
It's
DVD.
hard. Yeah.
If you announce right now at Walmart, if you tell me if an alert comes on my phone and like right now at Walmart, there's the best of Terry Taylor, 7 disc set, $30.
Big
You
Terry
know what?
Taylor there today.
I'm because that's the most ridiculous fucking thing to put out. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop this podcast and go grab the 7 disc best of Terry Taylor set. Swear to fuck, the seventh disc could just be him and by the way, Damian Priest and him didn't get along. Now they're best friends. But the seventh disc could be him and Damian Priest arguing in NXT over what his finish should be, and I'll watch that fucking seventh disc.
I mean, I
And
think a lot of people would watch that one.
yeah. Him and Terry Taylor. So by the way, I will say the best thing that WWE's putting out right now is Cody Rhodes' podcast. That is the best one. Damien, have you watched that at all?
Nah, I watched the Cena one, which was kind of a mistake, and everything else I see is in kind of in clips.
You gotta watch. I listened to it on the car, but I listened to the one with Damian Priest. Fucking awesome. It'll make you love, especially as a New Yorker. It'll make you love the comedian. Will make you love Damian Priest. He had so many good stories, and they really like let their guard down. And that to me is like the best thing they're doing.
I
And
wonder why. I don't think he got clips of his because they show clips every week, and I don't think they did one for him. They did Cena, they did Live, they did some other ones. They might not have done Live.
but one of his stories is that him and Terry Taylor did not get along when he got signed,
Hmm.
and now they're like best friends. And he's like,
Hmm.
everything Terry Taylor was telling me, I thought he was being a dick. He was telling me all this stuff because he wanted me to be a star.
Maybe
He,
they should put those on there on the fucking bricks. I don't know, put like Papa John's in front of it, like at the side of it, so I know Papa John's is the sponsor. Cool. There's got to
Uh,
be a better way than having these ads just in your face. Like,
you put a small like you put like a triangle of Cody and Damian Priest talking, and then you have like a bunch of like mini ads. So you have like a bunch of like it's almost like like when you're at the airport and there's like a little like the CNN's in the corner and then there's all these updates. You put
hmm
other advertising shit. That's a fucking great idea. That bro, that would make you watch Backlash. And you can do that with all these. You can do Stephanie interviewing Finn. You can do all that. You just chop it up, and yeah, dude, that's a great idea, dude. There's so many. Listen. I know you want to get that bag, WWE. I know you want to get that bag. Get the fucking bag. But what I am saying is, make it entertaining for me while you're getting the bag. That's all I'm saying.
I still can't believe that there's 5 minutes of dead air on the Peacock, not Peacock, on the stream. Like I said, I haven't looked. So that makes zero sense to me that's like afterwards, days removed, that there's just no edit where you can just watch it. I know Netflix, I think, cuts it out. At least takes a couple days. I know Netflix cuts it out. AEW, I think, keeps theirs with commercials until it moves to archives, I think, on HBO Max. No, they don't really give you sense of urgency to rewatch it if you,
On HBO Max
yeah.
are pretty good. Yeah. But this is my thing is like Tri- Triple H is lucky that I didn't get hired by ESPN and I'm not now the president. Because I would just pull him in and be like, hey, I just watched Judgment Day 98. What'd you think of it? And Triple H, oh, I don't, it was probably dumb. I don't remember it. Like, yeah, it's not that good of a show. Here's the other thing it's way more watchable than Backlash. Why can't you pace your modern shows? I'm giving you $1 billion. I gave you $1 billion for this shit. Why the fuck can't you pace a show like Judgment Day 98? Answer me that question. Because you know what? Steve Austin and Goldust got bigger pops than everybody else on this fucking show, Mr. What We Do. So tell me, why can't you pace it like that? Why? 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 I demand an answer right now. I give you $1 billion. I'll fucking kill you if you don't give me an answer.
I don't know what his obsession is with the 5 match format. While these 5 matches were good, I don't know what the obsession is with the five and the Cena Classic thing that we'll figure out what it means eventually.
Do you see Adam Glenn defeat Cena yesterday or today?
Who did?
Adam Glenn, you know Adam Glenn, right?
Not really. Oh wait, no,
He's
yes, I do. The guy, yeah, you're telling.
on your show. He's a good comic, but he got Cena, and Cena said the Cena Classic is his idea. He came up with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. But it seems unfinished, but I'm sure they'll figure it out.
If they stick to we can vote for who we want to be the Cena champion, I am begging fans right now to either vote for Rena Chatterton or Chris Benoit.
They're
Telling
gonna that's that no, it's gonna be a list of people.
you, okay, then Otis. I want Otis to
Yeah, I
Mark.
mean that could happen. I think people were like the way it was presented, like wins and losses don't matter. Like the wins obviously are gonna matter, but I guess if you really thought Damian Priest put on a good showing, then maybe he gets another chance. I don't know. We'll see what they do. But
I am gonna compliment, and then we'll review the show. I'm gonna compliment WWE on one thing. I'm gonna give them credit. They are booking Danhausen really fucking well. Here's the key to Danhausen, where he works, where people like R-Truth and Santino and even the Hurricane didn't work. It's
they
that
worked for a long time.
what? No, no, I'm saying like I think you can make. I think Danhausen can win the belt. This is why
Oh,
because when push comes to shove, and you if you go back and rewatch the match on Backlash, Danhausen can actually wrestle and he can actually kick ass. They've hinted at it. It's kind of like very Orange Cassidy like because they've given Danhausen got offense and it looked fucking it looked effective. And I feel like
hmm.
Vince wouldn't do that. Vince would have Danhausen like chop the Miz and Miz would just no sell. Like this was like
Yeah.
but I think the key to Danhausen, and I think this is going to make the biggest comedy character ever in wrestling, is that if his back is against the wall, he's got to fucking whoop ass. And if you do that, he's going to be the most over guy in the fucking company. And so far they're doing that. They did that on Saturday, And I think the key, the big key, and you got to build to it. You got to build to it is he gets an important match with someone who underestimates him and someone who has really done something to disrespect him, right? And Danhausen shuts off being goofy and fucking wrestles a match that's unbelievable. And I think if they do that, he's gonna be the biggest star they have.
Yeah, no, I think I always thought that was the key to these like goofy characters. I always thought that was like something that they were gonna do or tried to do with Fandango at first, and I think they kind of abandoned that. You can be a weird, goofy character, but at the end of the day, can you wrestle? Can you win? And Danhausen was one of those people who can win. Fandango, like at least in the beginning, was the people who could win. Tyler Breeze, these were people that, yes, their characters were over the top, but there's a reason they're there. They're supposed to be good wrestlers. If you treat them as such, then the fans will look at them in a different light. R-Truth had it for a little bit. I think R-Truth was too jokey at times. And then after his suspension, after the heel turn suspension, he just kind of was for the rest of his, I guess, duration of his career until they released him. He just never got put in a semi-serious light again. To the point that when he tried to do it again, people were just like, "No, we want our laughing, smiling black guy," which, that sucks. But at least he's getting the bag, as the theme of the night is. But you can do this stuff and still make it like interesting. And I think Dan doing a good job with Dan House. I know people are afraid of overexposure. I think he's doing fine right now.
I think they could have something special with him, and I'm shocked at how well they're booking him, considering that everything else sucks. So I'm proud of Danhausen. And let's move on though to when life was better, October 1998, Judgment Day 1998. Again, this show is just a pre-show to an incredible, and I mean an incredible Raw, one of the best Raws of all time. Um, do you remember the Raw after this?
No, I was trying to figure out, remember what happened afterwards.
So the Raw after this, Vince comes out and he announces that there's going to be a tournament for the belt. That all the rosters in the ring, and he tells them all that no one is bigger than him, no one's bigger than the WWE, and if you get out of line, I will fire you just like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So you all
Hmm.
just fucking kowtow to me because this is my company, this, that, and the third. Austin shows up with a cement truck, pours cement.
Mm.
That's a week later. Austin breaks in, kidnaps Vince McMahon, tortures him, pulls a gun on him in the ring,
Oh, that's the role. Okay.
gets McMahon to rehire him. And Austin gives a great speech like, "You think you're bigger than all the wrestlers, and you're not. You're not bigger than anybody." Austin agrees. McMahon agrees to rehire him. Austin shoots the gun. It just bang like the fucking Batman show. Then Vince McMahon pees his pants, and Austin
Hmm.
thunders him. The next week is when Austin used the cement truck on Vince's Corvette. And then the third week is when Shane shows up and reveals that he actually has been working with Austin, and then we go from there. But just a phenomenal follow up, just because the show starts with Vince. You know what I like about the early Vince storyline is that Vince would say, "I'm bigger than the wrestlers. I'm better than the wrestlers," and Austin would show up and be like, "No, you're not. We are
Yeah.
company. You're not. If we weren't here, you'd be nothing." And that was the moral of the story: is that Vince is an idiot, and he needs Austin, he needs The Rock to thrive. And now the story that everyone believes is that the company is bigger than the wrestlers, which is kind of like that's not why. But anyway, but overall, what did you think of the show?
I mean, the show's all right. Like, I mean, a whopping 13 matches if you count Heat. But
Yeah,
it was all right. Yeah, I think the main point of the show was the main event, and they hammered that home. X-Pac D'Lo stood out. Even Goldust Venus stood out. There's a section of the show until I guess the headbangers come out. That's just kind of like the best matches on the show. And Ken Shamrock Mankind's not bad either. But but overall, it's mostly okay. Like it was the main thing again is like you care about what's happening to Stone Cold. while they're trying to figure out the rest of this roster that they have right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw this. So my friend handed me the VHS tape at school, and I went home from school and I watched this, and I went to my friend's house and watched Raw. And the Raw was much better than the show. But again, like, I look back and I'm like, yeah, these were pre-shows to Raw. These were like 3 hour pre-shows to Raw. But they're, you know what? But they're paced fine. All right, so let's start. So the show starts with Al Snow versus Mark Merrow. Earlier on Heat, Al Snow cost Jeff Jarrett a match against Too Cold Scorpio. Jeff tries to get in the match. The referee goes no. So now it's Al Snow versus Mark Merrow. Watching this match, the thing that got to me the most is that we're not going to ever have a match like this on WWE pay-per-view again. And what I mean by that is this match, it doesn't have any stakes, but it's establishing these guys as people in the company. We're trying to figure out, you know, I'm sure Vince, if you said to Vince, there's a path where Al Snow is the next Hulk Hogan, he would go down that road. But he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure out, what do I have with Al Snow? So these guys are just figuring it out. They're having a, and it's a fine match. Snow reverses TKO into a snowplow. It's a fine match. But we're never going to see a match like this again. That made me really sad because I think wrestlers need matches like this. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Not the greatest. I enjoyed it. What do you think?
Yeah, it was fine to me. I think you brought up a really good point, especially with these five match cards. They don't You're just not gonna get this on that. You're gonna get it on Raw, maybe SmackDown when people don't care. Um, Perfect example. I didn't even know there was a Saturday night's main event coming up. There's a Saturday night's main event next week, which
Wow.
they barely advertised, and now they're gonna start advertising. They added Ethan Page versus Penta to it, and the Vision versus the Street Profits. But like you don't like this week's Raw. While they didn't do anything bad, they didn't do anything like exciting to make you want to see the next Raw. And I think that's a problem that they have. It's like a big low from the pay-per-view, which I know AEW gets a lot of criticism for. Is like the Dynasty would be amazing, and then the Dynamite, you're like, why am I watching this? Because where's all the energy from the pay-per-view? And WWE is doing the same thing, in my opinion. Here, it's just not like the Obafemi Open Challenge they did this week. He They said there was no one who wanted to fight him, so he grabbed Los Garza, who like were looking for an opportunity, and beat the shit out of them. And I'm like, that doesn't make me want to cheer him. He just kind of seems like a dick for beating up these two guys who had nothing to do with him, just because he wanted competition. If he wanted competition, he picked the two smallest guys he could find. So it's just kind of like. It's a long way to say that if some of this stuff was on the pay-per-view, we wouldn't need this for the Raw. And I know that the Raw is like they want to make every Raw seem like kind of special. It's not. It's not special. They fucking suck a lot of the times, Raw and SmackDown. Very uneventful shows. So I think you need matches like Al Snow versus Mark Merrill on a pay-per-view. Like there's no reason that Io Sky versus Sol Ruka shouldn't be on a pay-per-view, or like the Open Challenge can also be on a pay-per-view. I get the five matches, but there's so much fucking filler that you can add a sixth, you can even add a seventh, like it used to be, but they don't want to do that. So, like you said, this will never happen again.
Yeah, and like WC was so much better at booking Goldberg than right now. I feel like they're gonna ruin Obafemi's momentum. They don't know how to build momentum with this guy, and I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about Obafemi because I, I think Triple H. I think Triple H's booking philosophy is we get to WrestleMania, we get to SummerSlam, we get to Royal Rumble, we just kill time in between, and I don't think that's a good strategy. But you know,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they don't want to spoil people. They don't want to overexpose people, which is why like Cody Rhodes doesn't like wrestle that often, or like I remember last year Io Sky didn't wrestle for months. Maybe she was secretly hurt. They just didn't say anything. But or like Liv Morgan now, she doesn't have anyone to face. But then like, what am I watching Raw for? Why am I watching Javon Evans and Rusev again when I just saw some kind of a variation of it the week before? I know someone pointed out like they ended Raw with the Tongan Death Grip like 4 weeks in a row. Like is nobody watching this? Like, come on, guys, give us like a little bit more credit here.
Yeah, and then like you watch like no, listen, nobody, because I'll tell you right now, that October of '98, Nitro had more wrestling minutes than Raw. Nobody cared because the storyline was so good. So it's like, okay, you don't need to have matches. Nobody was sitting when McMahon peed his pants. Oh, we didn't have fucking, we only had like 40 minutes of matches, or there's
Yeah, that's what people do now.
yeah, I can't believe McMahon peed his pants. Like that was so exciting. And it's like, bro,
Just,
like, there's a way to do it. Like, there's a way to do it. And that show still had matches, but there was an ongoing story throughout the show where Austin's
hmm
building and he's hunting Vince. And it's like they don't know how to do that anymore. And I don't know. It's like it'd be one thing if Austin McMahon was like in WCW or something. It's like, all right, well, these guys never have done this. But it's like, dude, on this is the same company and you forgot how to do this, you know?
No, I agree. I don't think it was and this week's Raw was a very exciting one. And if you want to weave the thread of the bloodline and Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu into the whole night, sure, you can do that. But they had a couple Roman scenes, they had a couple Uso scenes, and then like Jacob at the end of the night, and you're just like, okay. And then it ends. I mean, to be fair, he did like take out all three of them. So I guess this one's a little different. But then you have another month of this to go, or 2 more weeks of this to go. And if this does not end with Jacob Fatu winning the championship in Clash of Italy, what is the point of all of this? What is the point? If Roman walks out, like what is the point of the last 2 months of TV that you just gave us?
There is no point.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Next up, we got the six-man tag. It's Disciples of the Apocalypse, Skull Apple and Paul Ellering versus the LOD 2000, Hawk Animal and Droz. This is the thing I'll say about this match. The crowd still loves the LOD. This is the thing about the Legion of Doom. You don't want to just like them, you want to love them. It's in you to love these guys. And I think it's a lot to do with Hawk, more so than Animal. And when Hawk hits the Doomsday Advice, people pop like crazy. They love Hawk. Everyone loves Hawk, man. I love Hawk. I don't care to even
Tell him, Hawk.
tell him Hawk. And then Droz gets the
So
pin.
you don't care you're the racist?
Was he racist?
He had something with Tuco Scorpio. I know that was a big fight, like in Japan
Yeah, I heard from the dark side. The dark side guy said Too Cold might have like exaggerated. I
in
think.
Dallas, yeah. And
Uh,
Animal had the thing about Tribe Called Quest. He got really mad at shortly before he died.
well, Animal.
So
Uh, well, I didn't say Animal was the fucking
no,
guy.
I know. Look, I like the idea of the Legion of Doom, so I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about it, even though it's
So
racism. It's not really a soapbox, but they're still cool.
what when Paul Heyman did an interview in 1993 when he got fired from WCW, and he was asked if you could pick five wrestlers to form a company around, who would it be? And I only remember two of them. I forget the other three. I think Rick Rude was one of them. But two of them that he picked was Sting and Hawk.
Hmm.
And he said Sting is my white meat baby face. Sting is the Hulk Hogan, but Hawk would be like Sting's like fucking enforcer. He'd be like the badass. They'd be my dude. They go, really? You wouldn't like have Hawk in a tag team? And he goes, Hawk's being wasted in a tag team. He
hmm
needs to have single matches where he's destroying everyone. And years later, I think he said Hawk should have been Goldberg. Like that's how they should have presented Hawk. And I think that was the smartest thing Paul Heyman ever said, because I do agree with that. I think Hawk had more to offer than the Legion to do. You know?
Yeah, you don't really get to see that much of it. I know they split up a bit in Japan and things like that. They weren't always together, but Hawk just kind of had that charisma about him. Not that Animal didn't, but like it was either Hawk or the two of them. You rarely wanted to see Animal by himself. I mean, when he came back to the WWE in like '05, we were just like, oh, like he didn't care. It was Animal and Heidenreich.
Hawk could have been the Shawn Michaels of the Legion of Doom, you know?
He could have been. Also, Animal apologized if it means anything to anybody that he
I mean,
apologized about
I,
the thing.
I met an animal because his brother's John Laurinaitis, so you
I
know.
mean, he can't help that. That's just biology. But what you were saying about the Legion of Doom, yeah, even in this terrible LOD 2000 gimmick that is not working, and they're growing their hair out, and they're doing the personal demons thing, they're so popular. It's not just because they're in Chicago. Chicago definitely helps, but they are so over. You would think it's like 1988 again. Like it's insane how over they are. And I don't know if personal demons and this storyline were not a factor. I don't know. We could have probably had them doing some good stuff in the later duration of the Attitude Era, but
But no,
just just not how it worked out.
not
All
how it worked
three,
out.
that whole team, unfortunately,
Yeah,
it was not great.
I know. But yeah, it's not that great a match. But the crowd want listen. People want to believe in these guys, and I think Vince had a vendetta against them. I really do. I don't know what it was. I know Hawk and Animal. I saw a shoot
It
interview
might
with
be because he didn't make them.
Hawk and Animal. I remember there was a shoot interview with them in like 2000. They did not like Vince McMahon, and they hate him, as a matter of fact. And the money was left at the table. Money was left at the table with these guys. But again, I don't know. Maybe if you give Vince McMahon and he's honest, maybe there's a good reason why you treat them like this. But I don't know. Match is okay. My biggest thing is people still want to believe in these guys. So
No, I agree. I think them not being a WWE creation, even turning them to the Legion of Doom instead of the Road Warriors and things like that. Not that they were ever going to pay for Iron Man. He wanted to put his spin on the Legion of Doom, the fucking doll, the
yeah.
puppet, and all that stuff. And it just never worked that way. And it's probably some resentment towards that because he didn't get them when they were, despite the pops that they're getting, when they were like on top of the world, he didn't get them. He didn't have
Yes,
them.
yes.
He
All
had
right.
Demolition, who was solid.
Demolition. I feel like Demolition is aged better than Legion of Doom. I feel like more
I
people
mean, I mean, they're still alive. So yes, they are aging better.
they feel like more legendary now than Legion of Doom. I feel like.
Yeah, I think people are seeing their matches just because they had the paint. That did not mean they were exact same clones of each other. They had different kind of styles, different personalities. Yes, they were screaming people in paint, but they weren't a one-to-one. And I think people are finally starting to open up to that.
I also think they're better workers and they're smarter about wrestling than Hawk and Animal.
Yeah, they probably.
As much as I love LOD, I have to admit I was a Demolition kid growing up. I didn't see them as a ripoff. I saw them as an upgrade, and Demolition were my guys. They'll always be my guys. And I don't know. I it's sometimes the ripoffs work because Demolition's my guys, bro. You know?
No, I love Demolition. I missed their original run. I saw them in WrestleFest. That's how I knew who they were. Shout out to WrestleFest, great fun
Mhm.
game back when the games were fun. Um, and then I had watching old Coliseum videos of them, and then they had their own Coliseum video, and that's where I saw
Oh,
like that tape, which I watched that tape probably almost every day about like how cool these guys were. I also had them as Hasbro's, but
Rose of
that's now, I was thinking about that. I mean, we would need a Gen Z person on here. Oh, you said hold on.
No, no, I'm still here. What you say? Keep going.
Oh, I was saying you would need a Gen Z person on here, or even Gen Alpha, which I don't think they're old enough to be on this podcast. How are fans watching? Like the way I watched Demolition do Coliseum video, or the way you watch somebody through a Coliseum video. There you go. Is that the new elite ones or the old ones?
Tell the not to Mattel. This is the Jax. The Jax.
Okay.
Jax.
I wanted to get the I wanted to get the Mattel one. They're like $75.
Mm.
I don't know. I can't do it anymore. Where you're spending $75 on figures. Like I just can't. I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me out. But yeah, how do fans how do younger fans, is it YouTube? Is like, how does a younger fan know about, you mentioned Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster. Do they just
Well,
not, or
they,
they,
well, like the network's gone, so I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. But even back, like, yeah, how do you know Stone Cold, more updated, like, or even Mankind or Ken Shamrock? Is it the games? Is it YouTube? What was the network? Is it just because WWE tells you that, hey, this guy is good and you care? I don't know. I'm very curious. I might want to put it on social media, but I also hate everybody on social media.
I see.
So I don't want to.
Okay, up next. This is a kind of a historic one. It's Christian's first match. Taka Michinoku versus Christian for the light heavyweight title. Christian, I think he should grow his hair back out, quite frankly. Christian, it's a fine match. This is the end of the road for Taka being treated seriously as a competitor. It's over for him after this. But Christian and Taka have a pretty good match. I remember watching this first time. I know this Christian guy's pretty good, and Christian wins light heavyweight title in his first match for the company. Interesting. What did you think?
No, I thought the match was fine. It is. I was kind of surprised that Taka Michinoku came out with the music and all that. I thought he was gonna have the whole kind tie get up. He had the blue gear on. Christian, yeah, they're trying to figure out this Edge Christian Gangrel storyline. I did not care about Christian for a long time. I was just thought he was the third wheel until the tag team. You know, when they were actually like a tag team, they kind of developed personalities outside of the Brood stuff. But Christian's another one of those guys that like is just another underrated, or maybe with fans not underrated. 'Cause I think everyone like really really likes him, but in the eyes of management, underrated kind of person. Sometimes when I think of comedy, I think like and this might be giving myself way too much praise, that I'm Christian. Like I work hard, people like me. I can be put in any spot, but they don't. The managements don't want to give you that spot. Maybe one of them. Maybe there's a TNA out there that'll like me, but the management doesn't want to give you that kind of spot. And that's kind of how I sometimes I look at myself. So but it's a little interpersonal there. But yeah, no, I thought the match was good. I think this is the start for a very long run for Christian, which you can honestly say he never got his due in WWE despite the many accolades. He could have been a top guy and they just didn't give it to him. But this match was fine.
Yeah, no, this was good. I really thought when I saw this match back in there, I thought like, oh, they're gonna treat Christian deadly, like this is gonna be a serious guy, and I was wrong. But all right, next up, it's Val Venus versus Goldust, and finally, for the first time in a year, uh, Goldust is back in his OG Goldust outfit, and the fans go nuts, and I was going nuts back in 1998. It's so funny to me because like it was only a year before this he was in his regular Goldust outfit. However, I wasn't watching back then. This felt to me like a nostalgia. Like this was like, oh my god, he's back. Like it brought feel in me back in the day that he was finally Goldust again. And he was like more accepting of it. This match is much better than last month. It's not the greatest, but Goldust debuted Shattered Dreams. That's just like one of his new moves. And it's fucking awesome. Not the greatest, but I enjoyed it, and I'm happy that Goldust. You know what to me in the back in the day this felt like? This felt like to me like he finally accepts himself as himself. He's not trying to gay bait. He's not trying to be in his father's shadow. He's Goldust, and he's always going to be Goldust. And they didn't really follow up on this in any meaningful way. Even he's in WCW doing bullshit with Vince Russo. But I like this match. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it was fine. I mean, it was a good story. It was good to see Goldust back. People wanted Goldust back after a year of God knows
Non.
what the fuck he was doing with
Mhm.
the Marilyn Manson and the green suit. I'll never forget the green suit with the ball gag and the pink hair. Like it just kind of sticks in my mind unfortunately. It was like, oh, I just look away in the distance, just disgusted about it. But no, they people wanted this. People wanted Goldust, and I really like that interpretation that he accepted himself. I wish the commentary picked up on it. Accepted himself as Goldust, and not the, like you said, the Razor Ramon putting the tattoo on the nipples one. Like he's just Goldust. And after that, I don't know if he has another like I'm Dustin Rhodes again in WWE after that, but I know after his sporadic returns have always been Goldust. And for the most part, Goldust was always over. Even when he came back years later, he just was not another person that they considered to be a bigger deal, which
I,
is
I, I,
crazy.
I think there was so much money left on the table with Dustin Rhodes. I think he could have been as big as Cody is right now. And I think that like the storyline, which you're right, the announcers didn't pick up on, but this is what I interpreted watching it because I was at peace with Goldust after this, and I was like rooting for him. So like I was main Goldust as a joke. I was main Goldust to fuck with my dad, and then I pretended to be gay because I just have these issues, and then I turned on my wife because I have these issues, and I got with Luna and I went to God. But you know what? Like I'm not my dad. I'm not gay. I'm mean.
I'm
And
Goldust.
right,
That's it. I'm Goldust.
gold dust.
Yeah.
And I deserve to be the fucking champ. I am a great wrestler. I'm not my father, but I'm better. And I deserve to be the champ. And I'm at peace. Like you tried to make me a freak, and I'm not a freak. And I'm the fucking man. And I think if
Mhm.
they did that, you could have had Goldust be like an Undertaker level character. But yeah, man, it's just there's money. There's money left at both companies. There's money left on the table with Dustin Rhodes. Serious money, you know.
I mean, AEW seemed to like him a lot.
And
It's a little too late. Don't tell him that. But it's kind of wild when you're looking at that WWE right now has Dustin Rhodes, Ron Simmons, Johnny B. Bad, and a few others. The people that if you looked at the 1992, 1993 WCW roster, you could be like, oh, these guys are gonna be something, and they are all nothing, which is unfortunate. Not because of their talent, but because of the creative.
exactly. So up next, we get clips of Ken Shamrock beating up Triple H after Triple H had to vacate the title. He was injured. X-Pac declares he's going to get revenge on Shamrock the next night. Spoiler, he does not. Um, and then we get D'Lo Brown versus X-Pac. This is a great match. Again, um, D'Lo Brown. I really thought D'Lo was gonna level up in the next few years. Back in 1998. And I also love the same thing about X-Pac 123 Kid. Like I thought X-Pac was gonna have his Shawn Michaels moment pretty soon. These guys kill it. These guys do great. This is the best match on the show by far. And it is just a shame. You know, you can't, and I understand it was really bad. You can't let fucking things stop you. And what I mean by that is D'Lo has admitted he was never the same after he hurt our best friend Draws.
Why
And
do you say it like that?
what?
Why do you say it like that?
I'm just trying to. I don't know. I'm just trying to say like, and I know it's easy for me to say I've never like altered someone's life forever, but you also like you have to just keep moving forward. You know?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's an easier said than done thing, especially something like that. But no, D'Lo and X-Pac were definitely two guys who, if this was 1998 and by 2002, should have been main eventing Raw, and you wouldn't have batted an eye about it. But 2002, X-Pac was out the door, both of them. D'Lo Brown was like, y'all putting the black man down. That was his character for a little bit, and before he got released, maybe like less than a year later. Then D'Lo went to like TNA and I guess did really well. But
We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out.
yes, we got years to go still. But No, it's and you know what? It's still a problem that WWE has today, where you have these mid-carders that should be your guys in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, and they're just not. I mean, look at when it was John Morrison, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, Carlito. These guys should have been main eventing. Sheamus made it out, but these guys should have been main eventing shows, and they didn't. And now this year, and Johnny Gargano, 2026, Damian Priest, the people that you were watching 5 years ago should be the ones that are on top. And it's just a recurring theme with them. I don't know if it's training. I don't know if it's just a bunch of people who don't have it. I don't know what the deal is, but it's just a big WWE problem. Like a
Yeah,
lot of these
no,
guys just never get there.
yeah, and I do think that if he didn't injure Draws, D'Lo's saga would be much different.
Hmm.
It's just that I think like Jim Ross and Vince lost faith in him, and he lost faith in himself. And I think that, and it is what it is. And we're going to be talking more about this Draws thing as we get closer, because D'Lo has a really good year ahead of him. Um,
Yeah. No, he was a big deal.
yeah, he injures Draws a year from now, but it's like accidents happen, and I mean, you got people are taking risks. And you know what? It's got to be frustrating. You know, it's got to be frustrating for poor D'Lo is to watch. Did you see Takesha on AEW? Takesha German suplex Darby.
Yes. Yeah.
It's got to be fucking annoying to be like nothing happened. Like they're fine, and I did a simple move, and Draz's life was altered. But that's the risk you take getting in that ring. And,
I mean,
and
I hope he's found peace with this, you know. It's
but it's just like I mean, I'm talking to him in 1999. And again,
mhm.
a girl rejected me in 1999 and it fucking wrecked me for years. And that also comes with, so it's easy for me to say, like, rejection's much easier than fucking ending someone's ability to walk. But it's
Mhm.
like these things happen. These are the risks you took. If you didn't want to be in this, you shouldn't have become a wrestler. You're good enough to get through this, and he didn't get through it. And
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he got the pep talks. I'm sure everyone tried their best. It's just mentally, yeah, you can't fight your own mental. Can't
yeah,
fight somebody's battle for them. And look, he still had a good career. It's not like D'Lo Brown like just disappeared off the face of the earth. He still had a
he's
pretty good career.
hey, so he's still making money.
Yeah, and he still, I don't think he has a podcast, but he uh does other people's podcasts and he does stories and was a road agent for TNA for a bit. So he still does pretty well for himself, but I think everyone thought he was going to be in a different spot.
Yeah. So anyway, I know maybe he's at peace with himself. He shouldn't be. He should be tortured. Okay, so here we go.
No, we're not saying that.
Here we go. It's the New Age Outlaws versus the Headbangers. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm,
I mean, as a kid, I would have probably loved this match. It's like my two favorite teams in the world. As an adult, uh, I would have definitely fast forwarded if I didn't have to watch this.
the Headbangers are not good heels. The New Age Outlaws, and I. By the way, I believe this 1998. They're the worst. They're not a good tag team. They're not a good tag team. If they were in AEW right now, there's no way they would get over because they can't. They don't have it in the ring. It's crazy how over they got, because considering they're not. Once the bell rings, they're fucking awful. And I think it's more due to Road Dogg than Billy Gunn, but this is not good. And I don't blame the Headbangers because I think the Headbangers are good. It's not
Hmm.
good. The New Age Outlaws are a great entrance, and then the bell rings, and they get worse. Like they were better a year before this. They might be. Someone tried to say that Dudley Boy is not a good tag team, and
That's not true.
Andrew Lee. It was Andrew Lee, and he said it with like this confidence, like that, like fucking he kind of like Rey Mysterio and Batista are a better tag team than the. I don't agree with that, but I will argue that Rey Mysterio and Batista are a better tag team than New Age Outlaws.
Okay. I mean, they were all style, you know. They had the once you heard the "oh, you didn't know," they did the gimmick. Billy Gunn had his moves. Road Dogg, all he had to do was hit his punches. And I think that's all people really wanted from them. Maybe that's why their singles runs didn't really work out. But it's yeah, I don't really know any outlaw matches besides the one that they do the outlaw when they make the outlaw rule that I like want to go back and ever watch. I think they're just like a good memory. Well, the Headbangers, while were a good memory too, they actually have some moves and talent and still wrestle to this day. So not that Billy Gunn doesn't. So I think the Headbangers time is more kind to the Headbangers and less kind to the New Age Outlaws.
Yes, yes, yep. That is correct. Okay, so now we have. So here's the other great thing about the breakdown main event. Again, it's not a good match to break down main event, but what it leads to. So the Zamboni ankle, Austin beats up McMahon. The Kane and Undertaker break McMahon's ankle. He's in the hospital. While he's in the hospital, Mankind visits him and presents him with Mr. Socko, which again changes the course of WWE. This is my thing. This is my thing to Tony Khan and to Triple H. Sometimes you just need to get to the great parts of the story. Doesn't have to be a 5-star match. Let's just keep it moving. And look what happened because of the finish of that main event of breakdown. We now have Mr. Socko, and Mr. Socko, I think, is one of the best things, one of the littlest but best additions to a character I've ever seen. I love Mr. Socko. What do you think of Socko?
I got nothing against Mr. Sacco. He's great. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Mr. Sacco. Maybe someone who has to take Mr. Sacco if he has a dirty sock, if it's not a clean sock. But zero problems with Mr. Sacco.
Yeah, and it was so fucking good, man. So we get Ken Shamrock versus Mankind. Great match. I wish these two had more matches. Actually, it's really good. And the finish is something I've remembered. It's been in my head. Shamrock puts the ankle lock, but Mankind gives himself the mandible claw because he
Hmm.
gets out to then tap the Shamrock. And Shamrock is pissed at that and attacks Mankind after the match. This was pretty good. This was a pretty good match. This is the start of Shamrock now being a heel. Um, and I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good match. It's a good showing from Shamrock and another one just kind of get Foley on your side. Very strange to see Foley actually kind of do like a what's the name of Samoa Joe's move? He was trying to hit him with the mandible claw, but he had him in a coquina clutch kind of,
Yeah,
and
that's
he
right.
was
Yes,
so
yes.
like you don't usually see that kind of work from Mick Foley Mankind, but it was just another way to like slowly get Mick Foley on your side. It still shows he's a little deranged by like putting in they made a big deal of him putting the black tape back on too, putting the mandible claw down his own throat. So he's still protected. He pretty much did it to himself. Shamrock attacking afterwards, like solidifies Ken Shamrock as a heel as the fans were already against him anyway. Yeah, good stuff with the both of them. 2 months in or 2 matches in a row. Because September with the triple threat with The Rock, and now this one with Ken Shamrock and Mankind.
I think he's a much better heel than face.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't pull the trigger with him as the face like they didn't, what else are you gonna do with him?
Hmm. So now the boss man is back, and he's now Vince McMahon's bodyguard. And
Mm.
I remember in the Pro Wrestling Torch, Wade Keller had a great point in that WCWS, the roster there is so big that a guy who meant nothing like Ray Traylor can come back to WWE, and it's like this big get. And like Vince knows how to make him special again, and he does. Like his return as like the bodyguard of Vince McMahon was pretty good. And it's like, yeah, you're right. This guy meant nothing in the final years he was in WCW, and now he's back to being a player, a fucking player. And it was great to have him. That just he's the big boss man is back, and it's like this means something. So
Yeah.
seeing him again, you.
No, it was cool seeing him, and you're getting a different boss man from what you did in 1990, the 90s, 1993. He's a
Mhm.
private security boss man. So they updated the character from being a less gimmicky dude to being like an enforcer, and he's somebody who could take losses, and you won't like look too down on him. Uh, like it was a good get. It was a good get from him. Still young, still very very young. You forget how young the big boss man was because you were watching him for so long. So he fit right in terms of youth. But no, I thought it was a good get. I almost we said this a couple of shows again. Almost wish that like he maybe had a faction of older stars, like instead of Golga, Earthquake, and Bam Bam Big, like the guys that like he
Yeah,
had are now modern versions of them, and those are the people that he wants to take out Stone Cold Steve Austin, but that didn't happen.
I got it. Bossman, Bam Bam Bigelow, Earthquake, and Southern Justice. That's a hell of a.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they all could have been good fodder for Stone Cold.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been a hell of a. I mean, I do like the corporation when it's formed with like Test and Bossman and Rock and Ken Shamrock. I do like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got the youth in there.
Yeah, I do
But if
like.
you need people to take the losses,
Mhm.
maybe he
Yeah,
didn't want Earthquake to take the losses. But then Golga took a lot of losses, so who knows?
yeah. We'll go remember. All right. Up next, this is a very interesting match. To me, well, rewatching it now, Mark Henry versus The Rock. So The Rock, the nation's gone. There's no more nation. It's over. And The Rock is a good guy, and D'Lo and Mark Henry are bad guys. And Mark Henry's going to fight The Rock. And when they announced this match back in 1998, I really thought, well, The Rock's going to just whoop Mark Henry's ass. It does not go down like that. Um, Mark Henry cuts a beautiful poem to China, and I just
Mm,
wish they had found each other earlier in life. And then they have the match. Rock now is like the second biggest baby face on the planet. But Mark Henry wins. He wins. And I firmly think The Rock saw something in Mark Henry, which is why he agreed to lose. And I think this was supposed to lead to something down the road. It never does. I realized after this, Mark Henry and The Rock never have a match ever again. And
mm,
I think that the what they were doing here is like down the road when The Rock's the champ, Mark Henry's going to be like King Kong Bundy to him and stuff. And
yeah,
they didn't do that, but I gotta give Rock credit because this is to me, bro. This is like if Obafemi lost to like Austin Aries, you know, and the fact that The Rock just like kind of keeps going with it, and I think this did a lot for Mark Henry at the time. It's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Like Mark and D'Lo aren't going to be forgotten in this breakup. So the match is short, but
yeah.
I really do. I really got to give Rock credit for allowing Mark Henry to beat him. I mean, I'm sure if he was like, I'm not losing to Mark Henry, Vince would have been like, go fuck your mother. You're losing to Mark Henry. But I'm just saying, you know.
No, The Rock, his years on top, and he wasn't fully on top yet. But his years on top, you see that he just takes a lot of losses, more losses than you would, and maybe it's just because nobody loses anymore. He takes a lot of losses. He just take he would lose to like the Dudleys, or he would lose the Test, or he would lose to anything like something like that. But he also knew that he would be fine because he's The Rock. Like he can
Yeah.
take these losses, and it's more like, whoa, Taz just beat The Rock, instead of like, oh well, The Rock's nothing anymore. And maybe that's just how wrestling is now. Somebody loses, and then we have 1,000 think pieces about how terrible everything is now because this person took a loss. But it's something I would like to see more from modern wrestling. I would love to. I mean, they did a good job with Brody King and MJF. I mean, obviously the title didn't change hands, but like Rick, let's use the Ricky Saints example. Cody Rhodes beating Ricky Saints, and then like Gunther choking him out. I don't know if those were two separate segments or it was the same one. I can't remember. Um, he chokes him out after the match, right?
Wait, Gunther beat up Ricky Saints already?
He beats up Cody Rhodes.
Oh, I thought Gunther beat up Ricky Saints. I was like, well, they should just fire him at this point. Okay.
No, no, Gunther takes out Cody Rhodes. I don't remember if that's right. I think it's right um after he beats Ricky Saints. I think I could be wrong, but why not give Ricky Saints that win? And then he has something to gloat over, like I beat the champ, instead of Cody getting that win and then getting taken out afterwards. You could have had Gunther take him out. Ricky Starks could coast on that for weeks, months even, and maybe do the rematch at Saturday night's main event, since no one cares about that anyway, where Cody gets his win back. But at least then you elevate somebody else. And I think The Rock losing to Mark Henry, which is a shock, then is a shock now. Helped keep Mark Henry in the upper echelon at least for a little while longer, and they should
Yeah,
do that more. They don't do that like ever.
they don't do it. All right. Then we get to the main event. Kane versus Undertaker with Austin as the ref. Oh, early in the night, Austin has to change in the referee's locker room. Austin's very funny on this show. You can tell he's enjoying just having a night off, just fucking around. Kane and Undertaker had great matches at 14 and at WrestleMania 14 and Unforgiven. This match, not so much. It's more about Austin. But the big thing is Paul Bearer turns on Kane and reunites with Undertaker. And then Austin stuns them both and counts them both out. He goes, "The winner is me." And Vince goes, "You're fired." Everyone, the asshole chants start. This is the chant. This is the start of the asshole chants. So there's a lot of like WWE like tropes that start here. You're fired, asshole. Um, the match itself isn't that good, but it's just more to watch Austin have a good time. Austin in the back looks for Vince. He runs into Owen, which I think was an accident, and he goes like, "You make me sick," and then he walks away.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's not a great match, but it's fun. And you know what? It's all about fun sometimes. I enjoyed it. What'd you think? It's not good, but
Yeah, no, it's not a good match. It's really about what happens at the end of the match. I think The Undertaker and Kane were kind of put in a weird position because I don't think either person was playing the face. So it's not like The Undertaker could play babyface Undertaker. He sits up and no one cares, you know?
yeah,
No one gives a shit when The Undertaker sits up, which like never happened. Hasn't happened since like 1990. But like he he's still playing the heel role, the slow plotting heel, and Kane is also playing the slow plotting heel. So like you just have two big heels fighting each other. You really care about what Austin's gonna do, and that was the whole point of the match. And everyone turned out fine because of it. But yeah, the big thing was McMahon and Austin and the fire egg and Jim Ross putting it over. Oh, the greatest guy of all time. Going a little hard there, 1998, but that's fine. But
I,
no, it all worked out.
I agree. I agree with that now, but like back then,
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like now, the greatest wrestler in WWE. Okay.
yeah, I think so. I mean, he saved the company. He saved the
Yeah,
company.
no, no, no. Now, yes. I mean, but 1998, yeah. What are you talking? Well, like, he's only been here for like 2 years.
I would go Austin Hogan, and the only reason I put Austin above Hogan is because he were probably going to go out of business if Austin didn't become Austin. I'm going to say that.
I
I
agree.
think I think if Hogan was like, "Fuck you, I'm not signing," or "I'm going to go fucking work a real job," I don't think WWE would have went out of business. But these would have been a smaller company, and they'd be out of business now. So I would go like it would be like Austin, Hogan, Rock, um, and then 4 and 5 are a toss up to me. But I don't know, maybe Cena and no Bruno Sammartino, and then Cena.
Yeah, I mean that's a good list. It's a hard list not to
But
it's a hard
Austin,
list to be mad at. But yeah. No, Austin, I think definitely of all the WWE isms we get and all the revisionist history, I think one thing is for certain that Austin definitely helped save that company. And you would not have the WWE you have now without the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin and then the rise of The Rock. So like those two together,
basically,
uh,
basically, T,
but you need Austin for Rock.
yeah, WWE's where they're at, and everyone is, and Nick Khan is rich because of what Austin did. Like he was the one who made this company go to the level where they're at. And without him, and I think the nostalgia for Austin kept people coming back um, over those years. And I think you can trace a line from Austin flipping off Tyson to today. And it's just
Yeah.
like, they kind of fucked up what Hogan did, and but Austin saved them. And I do definitely do agree. Austin is the most important wrestler they've ever had.
I mean, there's a reason that WrestleMania 30 or WrestleMania 40, people still want to see Stone Cold come out and help Cody Rhodes, which did not happen. But like he still has that He can come out on Raw tomorrow and get the loudest pop of the night. He can
Now,
go on and then put everyone else to shame. But he just has that energy about him, and he always will in the WWE
I mean, yeah. But so yeah, so overall,
and
good.
AEW. He showed up. Sorry, if he showed up on AEW, everyone would
What?
have lost their fucking shit. No, because I said in WWE, but I was like, if Stone Cold showed up in AEW like tomorrow, everyone would lose their fucking minds.
If Austin, if Austin walks out of Double or Nothing, there's gonna be like an hour long ovation. Like there's not, they're not
Yeah,
even.
exactly,
Uh,
exactly. He's
yeah,
stunning MJF.
Austin, Bruno Sammartino, and Hogan. Cena's fine. Cena's fine. And I definitely think like if a younger people will say different, but
I think John Cena carried it from that 2005 to I will even say 2015, 2016. He was that guy that like they were doing the MSG. I don't know if you remember if he wasn't there, they'd be like, we are offering refunds if you came to see John Cena. So like he was definitely like the guy that was keeping them on track.
did you ever hear Cena on Austin's podcast before he did video? Did you ever hear that one?
No.
It was right before 30, and Cena goes to Austin. You live in Los Angeles now, right? Yeah. And he was like, 31's going to be in California. He goes, could you wrestle? And Austin goes, I could do it if I wanted to, but, you know. And Cena goes like, we should make history. We need to make history at WrestleMania 31. It's your backyard. It's a year away. And Cena Austin. Oh my God. Oh my God. That would have been fucking a moment. And Austin went, are you challenging me to a match?
I
And,
think I
and
remember that.
I'm just saying that like we can make history. It's in your backyard. You can literally like drive to the arena. We can do what we're
Uh,
gonna do.
See, these are the things because I know Vince McMahon got mad I think about Austin and Punk when they did the backstage segment where you're hyping up a match you're not gonna get and you're setting up the fans' expectations, which eventually he was right about. Let's see the New Day and Big E. Yeah, it kind of bummed everybody out. But I don't know if this was Vince telling Cena to be like, "Hey,
Cena
see if
wouldn't have been.
Steve." Like Cena
This
doesn't seem like the kind of person that would have done that on his own.
It was a very off the cuff interview. That interview. It was not. It was Cena being a real person. That Austin
Okay.
that Austin podcast was incredible. Um, the crazy thing about Austin had like I remember I'll never forget that Austin had Wade Keller on the podcast, and he
Hmm.
totally. This is why I think Austin and CM Punk are two of the greatest. They know when to take a step back and highlight the other person because Austin was like interviewing like Wade Keller, and he was like basically like letting Wade Keller tell his story about how he started a newsletter. And it's like this is the biggest star in the history of wrestling, and he's totally deferring to this guy who did a newsletter. He's totally
Hmm.
and he's letting him get his story over, and he's letting him get over, and he's like, "That's impressive. You were 19 years old, and you started a newsletter. Oh, give me a hell yeah!" Like he was like really like fucking like just letting this guy tell his story, and it's like this is insane. Like there's no other top. Like Michael Jordan is interviewing some fucking guy who had like a Chicago Bulls website in 2009. Oh, so tell me.
No.
Oh wow, it's great. Your website had how many hits? Oh wow. You know, it's like Austin knows when to take a back seat to somebody. And he got so he made me like so many people on his podcast, you know?
Yeah, no, I know I haven't listened to all of them, but I know he was really good at the podcast. I know sometimes he would just tell stories, and he had no guests, and he would just talk for like an hour and a half, and you were enthralled because he had one bad guest in the history of life, and it was Dean Ambrose apparently
Oh
when
yeah.
they did that, which they've both expressed regret about,
He
but.
made me like Eric Bischoff. He made me like Scott Hall again. He made me who was the
I
other
think I
person?
listened to the Eric Bischoff one because I remember they kept plugging Buffalo Bill, Cody Beer.
They were drinking and like they were having like a real conversation like about the firing and about like their issues with one another and he made Eric Bischoff likable. It was Michael Hayes.
Yeah,
He does Michael Hayes, and Michael Hayes, he makes Michael Hayes like the most likable fucking. I think Michael Hayes is an asshole.
yeah.
He's so fucking likable because he's just like he's and who else did he interview? And it was like, this guy is so fucking cool. I forget. Shane Douglas. He does, and Joey Styles. And
Oh,
Chop.
interesting.
Yeah, Shane. No, not Chavo. That was Chris Jericho. But yeah, Joey Styles and Shane. He like really gets them to like open up, and it's like it's cool. It's really cool. He's really good. He's a really good people person, man. He's
Yeah.
special. If anyone, let me tell you something. I allowed people. I blocked them when Hogan died. If anyone gives me shit when Austin dies, I'm gonna go find them and fucking beat the crap out of them. All right? You can't give me shit for being sad when Austin dies. That's it.
Oh, they'll find their reasons. I know he's
He did.
pro. He was anti-Biden and he was pretty vocal about it. So I don't think
Well,
people care that much. I mean, he's still. I think he's kind of that person that like, look, he's this dude from Texas. I'm surprised he's not worse. So I think everyone just kind of accepts him for what he is and his politics.
the fact he grew up where he did and he's pro gay marriage, I mean,
Yeah,
you got to
exactly.
give him an award. All right, so
I
that's
think that's
enough.
how it is.
So let's review the next 4 weeks. Next week we have Halloween Havoc '98, which is DDP versus Goldberg. In 2 weeks, it's November to Remember '98, which is the new Triple Threat versus the Triple Threat. In
Mhm.
3 weeks, it's Survivor Series '98, which is Mankind versus Rock. And then in 4 weeks, it's World War III '98, the final World War III. Uh,
Enjoy.
Bret Hart versus DDP. What are you excited about?
What am I excited about? Let's go with Halloween Havoc. It's coming up next. I don't remember anything outside of Hogan Warrior. Let's see what we got.
I'm excited for Halloween Havoc and Survivor Series. The other thing I'm excited about is Bret Hart versus DDP at World War III. I'm really hoping, rewatching this, Bret Hart, Bret Hart brings it because, hey man, you got the main event. You're getting the main event over the Battle Royal. So
Hmm.
do you bring it? And I really hope he brings it. I can't. I remember not. I didn't really pay attention to World War III after Nash won the Battle Royal. But I'm rooting for Bret Hart. I'm rooting for Bret Hart to bring it with DDP because DDP is on fire right now.
Yeah, yeah, great year.
So look, I'll say this: when we watch that match, if Bret Hart doesn't have a good match with DDP at World War III, Eric Bischoff was right about him. Everything because Eric Bischoff was very critical that he never should have signed him. That he was an idiot. If you
That's a big take.
what happened?
That's a big take. We'll see.
No,
Now I'm excited for that one. Now I need to see how that goes.
because listen, fucking DDP in October has an amazing that Goldberg match is fucking awesome. That's Goldberg. That's one of Goldberg's best WCW matches. So
Yeah,
it's
I remember.
DDP leads Goldberg to a great match, and you are one of the goats of all time. If you can't fucking hang with DDP, you're washed. It's over. Goldberg did you a favor, kicking you in the head. What do you have to
No.
say about that? Who's next?
We will find out in a few weeks. There's a cliffhanger
Say is
for the
all
next
right.
few weeks.
The plug, brother.
Oh, what do I have to? June 20th, Characters of Comedy at the Stand. Before that, I should plug Brotaku. March 21st at Eatsville Comedy Club. I am hosting that. It'll be comedians and a Mario Kart tournament. There'll be three judges. Christos hosts it. Christos produces it. Very funny comic. So three other judges, people playing Mario Kart, comedy, gaming, collide. I know we've tried this a few times in New York at least, and we are trying again. So definitely, please come support it. Eastville Comedy Club.
Are awesome. And I have a sold out show tonight. It'll already happen when this episode comes out. I am basically I'm the biggest star in Hollywood right now.
There you
And
go.
so, but subscribe to the podcast, follow us, watch Halloween Havoc '98 if you can, and thank you for all your support. And we'll see you next week. Halloween's coming early for
Oh
me,
yeah.
Kyle Lewis. We'll see you next week, guys.